GM, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. First video here, make it short and sweet. Quick introduction. My name's Sam, been a crypto trader for the past 18 months, and finally thought I'd venture into the world of YouTube. Got my own private Discord group, and there's been several people in there that have been asking for me to put on small updates as and when I feel the need to, and give my opinions on the market updates, since I'm pretty upfront and honest. And as the thumbnail says, this here is about altcoin portfolio restructure, which brings me straight in to this. This here, as you can see, this is total free on the 4 hour. Zoom out here and go for the daily. So altcoin's been hit pretty hard recently, with many sitting down by sort of 10, 15, 20% in the past week. Overall, around about 30% down on a lot of altcoins. And this just brings me, this whole altcoin thing, is to why I've actually sold most of my bags. And when I say I've sold most of my bags, I've just sort of de-risked and took some some profits across the board. The main strong coins I hold, like Ondo and various others, Akash and Render, and I've certainly de-risked a little bit on Akash, not because I don't believe in the project anymore, just because when I bought Akash, let's get a better chart here. Let's go to where is it? This one here, and you get the full size picture. It, to me, was just one of the healthiest looking charts in crypto at the time. When I bought down here at sub 50 cents, 55 cents, something like that, yeah, around about June last year, just looking at the performance, the nice lengthy accumulation all the way down to here. And then the daily bands went green and it moved up. And if it red, and when it went green again, we had this massive move up. And just the whole way through, just looked super healthy. And then it pulled back, and then it started to move up again, subsequently making lower highs. And now, I mean, it's been long overdue for Akash to have an extreme pullback like this. I mean, off the highs, we're sort of looking at around about a 60% pullback in Akash. And there, as I still believe it to be one of the strongest AI projects out there, I was sort of de-risked a little bit. And for me to get back into Akash, I'm probably going to take it as more of a trading perspective, in the idea of when it comes along here, and we might want to see maybe like a small move up the highs and then come back down a bit lower and then form a nice base and then go. This, when it breaks this sort of level here, is when I'd be looking to get back into more Akash as a spot trade. Obviously, there's no futures or leverage on Akash, and it's on very few exchanges. Qcoin, got listed on Coinbase back along. I think that was this move, around about here. And then it got listed on another exchange in a foreign country, and that caused this massive impulse move back at the $7, where I actually took some profits after been holding it from sub 60 cents. So yeah, I mean, just looking at the overall total free market, altcoins are down. We broke this massive daily trend. In fact, it might have even been a weekly trend. Yeah, weekly trend we broke. Still green on the weekly 12, 21 EMA bands, but you just go through a lot of, we go back to the daily, go back through and you just look at a lot of altcoins, especially Solana. I mean, Solana looked cooked. It had a nice run, Solana, all the way up to $210 this so far this year, back in March. But I mean, I just feel like there's more time to get back into these coins. As I said, Ondo's one of my superior holdings, and it's one of the holdings that's actually been one of the coins that's actually been holding really, really well, despite Bitcoin and Ethereum and all these other alts having, massive move down. Ondo has just stayed nice and strong with only a small pullback. Might bleed lower here, as you can see, subsequently again forming lower highs on the daily time frame, like that. So yeah, we might well see Ondo having a bit of a bleed back down to maybe where I had this last accumulation base down on here. It went on for around about 42 days. And again, when you look a lot of these altcoins, AVAX for example, when was the 10th of January? January. 10th of January was here. So when Bitcoin was having its major move after the ETF launch, it had a small pullback for around about a day, maybe 2 days, and then it broke out. There was AVAX, for example, just stayed flat down and chopped along for several days, maybe a couple of weeks afterwards. So 30 days, so a month. There's when Bitcoin had the ETF launch, it pulled back down for around about 13 days and then broke out. So what this is just telling me, and this is just my thesis, I don't want people to trade it off the way I'm going to trade this, but Bitcoin led this whole move via his ETF launch. When it went live, this was here. Obviously, then was the time we got long on Bitcoin, when we thought there was a bottom in on the daily, and it broke out just before the bands went green. Subsequently, had this massive move to the upside. And altcoins just appeared to just lag. I mean, I'm not too sure what Injective was doing. I haven't actually tested this. So 10th of Jan is there. So let me get my horizontal ray. 16, 15, 14, 12, 10. So Injective, for example, when it actually started to break out was probably around about here, about 55 days. I can't remember if it was by how long it takes from Bitcoin to reach from here to there. 51 days. So while these coins were still accumulating and just chopping sideways 51 days, Bitcoin rallied. And then once we hit the all-time high, then you would have been safe looking at buying altcoins around about here before they broke out. So from a trader's point of view, I've actually diversified probably 75% of my portfolio back into BTC and ETH. Just because I think altcoins are probably the wrong play currently. Looking at the way it's going to be and the way ETH is probably going to be, I mean, I don't see, looking at the Bitcoin ETF flows, so the past, since the 10th of this month, all the way down, besides maybe one day, it's been negative outflows from Wall Street the whole time. Besides a couple of days, I think GBTC had a good day yesterday, was it? IBIT, so BlackRock had a 1.5 million inflow day. But based on these past few days, if the Ethereum ETF went live now and Wall Street's just not interested, why is Ethereum, if it went live today at the ETF, why is it going to pump hard? And I'm setting up, and I've slowly over the past few months got less and less interest in leverage. And as time's gone on and you build a portfolio and you're back in cash or Bitcoin, I'm literally sold 75% Bitcoin, 25% ETH now, maybe 70% ETH and 2% Ondo and 2% of cash and various others. Still hold like a little bit of render, but just don't really see the rush to get back in heavily into altcoins. We're overly exposed into altcoins. Obviously, there's ways you can go to pick good coins to pick in your portfolio, and I'll get back into that. I'll do a deep dive into that in a different video. I just want to do like an introduction video, basically, and just say, you know, new channel, this is what I'm doing, trade it your own way, but I'm going back into trading spot in a big way. And if I see a move, for example, zoom into like the 4-hourly time frame, let's just look at something like Pepe, for example. So just looking for just a simple trend and break. 4-hourly bands go green. I'm looking for them. They've been compressing here and here quite a lot as we're chopping down, and I'd like to see it just extend this trend down. and maybe start squeezing. I mean, we probably could. It should be. Probably could see a slight compression here on Pepe and a break. But I mean, I'm just gonna be looking for ways to get in on trades and for other confluence tools I use to get back in, and then do a heavy led spot trade as opposed to leverage trade. Because the way things are going and the market is so choppy at the minute, anyone aping in, like short of day trades and scalps, people holding in on long-term swing trades on leverage are just going to get wrecked, because I think alts go a little bit lower in my opinion. I mean, there is definitely no sign of bottoms in on things like Pepe. I mean, BTC, looking back, that's my clean chart. Is that it? This one. One of them, this one. BTC is the actual dead level of 64, which is here. It's really interesting to see it holding 64. So obviously there is some interest in Bitcoin for people to be keeping it above that level. And Ethereum, again, it's chopping and almost forming what looks to me like a nice base. And I'd like to see him drop along here for maybe another couple more weeks. So I'm not rushing into anything. I'm not doing anything stupid. I will be watching the charts, and I will be, if I see any chance of any moves coming, it might be on my actual computer like this, or it might be on my phone. But I will definitely do quick updates and try and keep this channel as updated as I can. And I do have a camera and stuff like that, and I'm not ever going to record my face. I will get it done once I've got background stuff sorted. Once I finish my actual office and gym off, then I'll get into proper videos. But Ethereum here is seemingly looking stronger than Bitcoin to me. This is just bouncing and forming lower highs on the 4-hourly. Ethereum's actually forming a base. And that's pretty good, in my opinion, for Ethereum. Obviously, people are going to probably try and have the same sort of idea as me, looking for that ETF trade. And I think the date for them to go live is on, or the rough date from the Bloomberg guys is July, first week of July. So where's the first? There we go. So there's somewhere around here. And once it's gone live and we've got rid of these lows, sorry, not once we've got rid of these lows, but once it goes live, I expect it, especially if, you know, we might have like a small weekend pump like we have been seeing. So we might see it just continue chopping along like that. Get a little bit above it, sweep these highs out here, and then the ETF goes live, and then we come down, test these lows, chop along, maybe drop a bit lower, and then it might start going. But we'll see. Not too sure how it's going to play out. I'm just going off exact previous price action on Bitcoin. See if I can do the daily, so I'll find it easier. But yeah, I mean, this is the sort of play I'm looking at. Roughly same sort of trade on Ethereum. I'm going to cut this video in about the next minute 30 because I want to keep it about 15 minutes because my internet's really bad. I've got to upload it off my phone and mess around. So that's about it. One last thing, I'm probably just looking to when it loads, if it loads. Where are we? Okay. Yeah, so open interest in sort of flat. In fact, a better chart to probably get this up on is Velo. Where it loads. We want to look at that open interest. So a funding rate is actually below on BTC now. We're actually in negative, so just below neutral. But everything is sort of cool, cooling off. But what we want to look at is I can't remember which section's on here. Market. Yeah. So the funding heat map, his ton coin the other day was like plus, what was it? Yeah, minus 99, negative. All these altcoins near enough, besides maybe one or two. Like Shiv is just positive, but the funding rate on nearly all these alts are nearly, oh yeah, it's changed quite a lot actually. So like DOT is minus 12, well basically minus 13. Bitcoin Cash is minus 2.43. Uniswap's 8. Near's 11. Obviously, Near's actually had a small run. It's probably the AI thing after the whole Nvidia become the most profitable or the most expensive company in the world or whatever it was. Since that news, Near and AI actually had a little bit of a rally off the lows on that new. Render did the same. A small pump up. A Cash did as well, I think. Yeah, there. Fetch had an even bigger run. I think there's something to do with the merge on that as well. Big bounce volume spikes with 200% ahead of Magic. Yeah, so yeah, it's Fetch AI Ajax as Nvidia's zooms to become world's most valuable company. That's it. Yeah, so that's why AI had a pump. But like things like Pepe are obviously everyone's aping to Pepe at the minute because obviously it's like that Ethereum beta play. So Casper and a few others, Aptos is negative. So there's a few things here now. When I was looking, if we go on to the daily, a lot more things here now getting back into positive funding rate. So yeah, I mean the actual market itself is looking, it's just cruising really. It's bleeding down lower. All these alts are taking a bit of a hit. Jupiter Terminal, for example. I mean today we're having like a little bit of a move up on some of them. STG looks absolutely dreadful. Tuncoin is another one of my holdings. Again, sold 75% of it. I had a really good entry on Tuncoin. Probably, I think when did I buy it? It was like January this year. So way back here. Back in this accumulation. Around about here somewhere I bought it. So obviously I didn't sell all my Tuncoin because the move it's actually had off those lows. Let's try and get it down a bit here. January there to there, 262%. So obviously I was in massive profits off Tuncoin. So I didn't sell all of it because I think the whole Telegram thing is really good, and I think it's going to run again in the future. But some of these have been moving, some haven't. I mean, some are just bleeding down, some are just cruising along, grinding up, hitting the highs, dripping back down inside. So a bit of a boring market. This is the time where I don't think, besides the odd day trading scalps on a lot of these altcoins, you really have to worry too much about doing stuff like that. Was trading. I was trading Rose last night in a range. Done with that. So yeah, we don't really need to worry too much about altcoins, in my opinion. Some are going to bounce, some are going to pop, some are have good moves. But the plan is don't get FOMO, don't miss out, but just focus on your majors. This is where the interest is going to be. Over on Ethereum due to the ETF narrative, and obviously Bitcoin because it's the biggest and best. It's Bitcoin. So don't sell your alts just because I'm selling them or anything like that. But I have swapped a massive chunk of my portfolio back into BTC and ETH, and that is mainly what I'm sitting in. And with a little bit of cash I've got on the sidelines, I will be eyeing to set up the next leverage Ethereum trade. Other than that, I'll be looking at spot trades on several altcoins, but we'll do that another day. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Please like, share, subscribe. And again, it won't be daily content. I haven't got time to do that, but I will come back maybe once a week. Twice a week if you're really unlucky. So that's it. GM. See you soon.